Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into a really powerful message about our relationship with the planet, one that's basically asking us to just stop for a second and listen.
And right away, the source material hits us with this profound idea. It suggests there's a voice out there that we've just stopped hearing, a connection we've let go of. This really sets the stage for everything we're about to explore, this feeling that we've somehow become deaf to our own home. And look, this isn't just a metaphor. The source uses this kind of stark, poetic contrast to make something abstract feel incredibly real. It's this beautiful, but honestly pretty painful image of the physical consequences of our disconnection. It's like a once vibrant world that's now literally struggling for breath. All right, so that brings us to our first section, called The Earth's Cry. We're going to take a closer look at how this disharmony, this world being out of tune, is actually described. Wow, the imagery here is it's incredibly powerful. This isn't about pollution or environmental damage in some clinical scientific sense. The source describes the Earth like a living being that's in pain, mountains that bleed, air that holds a memory. So it's framing this whole crisis not as some technical problem we can fix with a spreadsheet, but as this deep spiritual wound. So that naturally leads us to our next section, a forgotten wisdom. If the Earth is crying out, then why? What's the root cause? Well, according to our source, it's something that we've all forgotten. And this right here, this is where the loss gets personal. It's not some abstract statistic, it's a memory. It's an elder's lived experience. This one quote just completely transforms a global issue into a tangible, heartbreaking story of something precious that's vanished within a single lifetime. So, what's the forgotten wisdom? Well, it all comes down to this one crucial idea. Relatives. The wisdom being described here is a worldview where humanity isn't separate from nature, but is an essential part of it. The big mistake, the source argues, was when we stopped seeing the Earth and everything in it as our family. And this slide, man, it just lays it all out so perfectly. On one side, you've got the old way, a relationship built on kinship and respect. On the other, the new way, a relationship built on utility and consumption. Earth as a relative versus Earth as a resource. This single comparison really gets to the heart of the entire problem. And really, this is the heart of it all. This is the core of that forgotten wisdom. The idea of ownership gets completely replaced by stewardship. It's a fundamental reordering of our place in the world. We're not the masters of nature, we're its respectful caretakers. So, thinking about that forgotten wisdom, it leads us right into our third section, the mirror of today, which is all about looking at the consequences of forgetting and realizing we're at a critical turning point.
These paradoxes they're just fascinating, aren't they? The source basically argues that for everything we think we've gained in our modern world, we've actually paid a really steep price. We have more ways to communicate, but maybe less real connection. More noise, but less meaning. It's a really sharp critique of what we even call progress.
And then we get this ancestral warning delivered through a young woman in the story. And wow, is it a gut punch. It just cuts through all the economic justifications and lays bare a simple, undeniable truth. Our survival depends on the ecosystem, not the economy. You can't eat money. And that brings us to the pivotal question. A question for all of us, really. This is where the whole narrative shifts. We go from just diagnosing the problem to talking about action. It challenges us to stop being passive observers and realize that we have the power right now to change how this story ends. Okay, so if we can change the beginning, what does that actually look like? Well, that's what our final section, The Path of Hope, is all about. It focuses on the solution, which is a return to those roots we talked about earlier.
And the source is super clear on this. Hope isn't something you just have, it's something you do. It's found in tangible, restorative work, in planting, in cleaning, in building. It's a really practical, grounded kind of optimism that's rooted in making a positive contribution.
So here's a kind of roadmap for that journey. It starts with listening, reopening that channel we closed off. Then remembering that wisdom of being interconnected. That leads to action, the planting and protecting. And finally, to healing, which is presented as this two-way street between us and the Earth. I mean, this is just such a beautiful, hopeful message, right? It suggests that the damage isn't necessarily permanent, that nature's ability to heal is huge. But, and this is a big but, it places the responsibility squarely on us. The forgiveness, the healing, it all depends on our own reawakening, on our return to love and respect.
Okay, and this next point is a huge reframing of the whole conversation. This isn't a story about humanity as the hero, swooping in to save a helpless planet. The Earth is resilient, it's powerful. This is about saving ourselves. The real question is, can we learn to live in harmony with the systems that keep us alive, or are we going to make this planet unlivable for ourselves?
And really, that's the bottom line. Our self-interests and the planet's interests aren't in conflict at all. They are one and the same. They're two sides of the same coin. That separation we feel, it's just an illusion. Protecting the web of life is, when you get right down to it, the most basic act of self-preservation.
And then we get this final message, and it's designed to hit you right in the heart. It's not some distant, angry roar from the planet. It's a quiet, intimate invitation, a prayer. And it's not addressed to humanity in general. It's addressed to you. It's calling your name, asking you to listen and to answer.
So in the end, the whole journey described in this amazing source material boils down to this one simple, powerful, interconnected truth. The path to healing our planet and the path to healing ourselves are exactly the same path.